Let's jump right into this. Picture a rainy night in Portland, Oregon. It's a city famously known for its warm, tight-knit communities, the kind of place where you naturally assume the best in people. But tonight, that comfort gets completely shattered. We're stepping straight into a nightmare that literally showed up on a family's front step.
You know that feeling, right? That sudden, undeniable gut feeling that something is just wrong. Before your brain even processes what's actually happening, your body already knows. Your stomach drops, your heart races, and every single survival instinct you have fires off at once. Most of us just brush it off as paranoia, but as you're about to see, ignoring that feeling can be a massive mistake.
It's March 3rd, 2019. The entire city is totally blanketed in that soft, thick gray fog you only really see in the Pacific Northwest. It's a quiet Sunday evening on Skidmore Street. There's no massive storm outside, just this constant soft hissing of rain against the glass, kind of wrapping the whole neighborhood in this eerie, absolute isolation.
Inside one of these houses is 18-year-old Brooke Callahan. She's babysitting and she's completely alone on the ground floor. She just tucked in 6-year-old Mia and 8-year-old Jordan upstairs. Their parents, Cole and Andrea, are at a dinner party just 10 minutes away. So, Brooke's just chilling in the living room, drinking some tea, typing up a college essay. The house is dead silent.
Then, at exactly 9:22 p.m., the doorbell rings. It just completely shatters the silence. Brooke freezes. The parents hadn't said a word about anyone coming by this late. She shuts her laptop, creeps up to the heavy wooden front door, but she stops. She has this absolute strict rule for herself. You never, ever open the door without looking first. She peeks through that tiny vertical window next to the door. Standing out there in the rain is a tall man. He looks to be in his mid-40s, wearing a dark rain jacket and heavy work boots. But what's really unsettling is how casual he is. He's just standing there, perfectly relaxed, holding a little pharmacy bag, acting like hanging out on a stranger's dark porch at 9:30 at night is the most normal thing in the world. He catches her looking through the glass, and without missing a beat, he speaks right through the thick wood. His voice? Super friendly, completely conversational. He goes, "Hey, sorry to bother you. My name's Kevin Marsh. I'm a friend of Cole's. He asked me to drop something off for him tonight. Is he home?" Brooke doesn't buy it right away. She keeps her response very measured and safe. She tells him, "Mr. and Mrs. Whitfield aren't home right now. I'm the babysitter." And the guy actually chuckles. Just a mild, easy laugh, like a friendly neighbor who just had a minor scheduling mix-up. He holds up the little paper bag, but Brooke flat out refuses to take it. She tells him he needs to call Cole's cell phone directly, and right then, everything shifts. It's so subtle, but his easy smile just kind of vanishes. It's like a cloud passes over his face. He drops the friendly act just a tiny fraction and says, "I'm not asking to come in, just take the bag through the door." Brooke holds her ground. "I'm sorry, I'm not able to do that." There's this horrible, heavy pause. The solitary porch light is casting his shadow all over the wet steps. Finally, he just says, "Okay, no problem." He turns around, steps off the porch, and completely disappears into the rainy night. The second he is out of sight, Brooke grabs her phone and calls Cole. She explains the whole thing. The bag, the rain jacket, a guy named Kevin Marsh. Over the phone, all the background noise from the dinner party just seems to stop. Cole says, "Brooke, I genuinely do not know anyone named Kevin Marsh. The whole friendly neighbor routine was a complete lie." Cole tells her to lock every single door and window immediately while he dials 911. Brooke goes into pure survival mode. She checks the front door, locked. Garage door, locked. She's quietly moving from room to room, but when she gets to the kitchen and looks out into the pitch-black backyard, she freezes. The motion sensor light is on. There's this sickly, pale light cutting through the fog. Something out there just triggered it. She stares out into the wet grass, and right at the very edge of the light, right where it fades into absolute blackness, she sees him. It's the same tall man in the dark jacket. He never left. He's standing completely still in the grass, just staring at the house, waiting. Brooke immediately dials 911 herself. She bolts silently upstairs and literally wedges herself on the floor in the hallway between the kids' bedrooms, keeping the 911 dispatcher on the line. For 3 incredibly long minutes, it's just silence. Then, at 9:28 p.m., she hears it. The back door handle is being slowly, deliberately pressed down. It holds. A minute later, she hears him testing the ground floor windows. And at 9:30 p.m., those heavy work boots are right back on the front porch. He's actively probing the house for a way in. The doorbell rings again.
1, 2, 3 times. And then the polite act is completely gone. He starts violently, urgently hammering on the front door. The whole frame shakes. The tension is just suffocating at this point. Brooke is sitting in the dark upstairs, utterly paralyzed, just praying those deadbolts hold. Now his voice is cutting right through the wood, and it is entirely different. Cold, hard, insistent. "I just need to talk to you for a second," he demands. "Just open the door. I'm not going to hurt you. I just need you to open the door." Brooke doesn't make a peep. She just grips her phone, absolutely terrified. Finally, at 9:51 p.m., the agonizing silence of the neighborhood gets violently ripped apart. Sirens. Flashing red and blue lights completely flood the fog. 2 Portland police units swarm the property from the front and the back alley. They catch the suspect trying to scramble over the backyard fence. He slips, messes up his ankle, and they take him into custody right there in the wet grass. So remember that ordinary paper bag he left on the porch? The police look inside. It had a bottle of children's cold medicine, a couple of granola bars, and a hand-drawn map of the Whitfield house with every door and window circled. The whole grocery delivery thing was a totally fabricated prop, designed purely to get a teenage babysitter to crack that front door open. But the true horror was waiting just 2 blocks away. Police find his car, a gray Honda Accord. In the trunk, they pull out a duffel bag stuffed with zip ties, rolls of duct tape, and a prepaid cell phone. Items that police officially described as being consistent with unlawful entry and restraint. Turns out, this guy's real name is Gerald Wayne Pruitt, and he already had a severe criminal record, including serving time for attempted burglary. And when detectives search his apartment, the scope of what he was doing is staggering. Pinned to his bedroom wall is a hand-drawn map of the neighborhood. The Whitfield house on Skidmore Street is marked, sure, but there are 4 other addresses marked too. 4 other houses where young babysitters were known to work. He wasn't just creeping on one family, he was actively stalking multiple targets. Now here is the absolute most shocking twist of this entire explainer. You're probably thinking he sat in his car for weeks, watching these houses through binoculars, right? Wrong. The terrifying reality is that Gerald Pruitt never physically tracked these families to learn their routines, not once. He did it all online. He meticulously built this incredibly detailed, precise stalker profile entirely from a distance. He found their street from a Yelp review the dad left. He lurked on neighborhood forums where the mom posted. He matched that up with their LinkedIn profiles and social media schedules to perfectly map out their Sunday night routines. He knew exactly when they'd be gone and exactly when a teenager would be left completely alone. The jury didn't waste any time. It took them barely 6 hours to convict Pruitt on all counts, including attempted kidnapping. The judge handed him an 18-year sentence in the Oregon State Penitentiary and tacked on specific enhancements, making absolutely sure he is entirely ineligible for early release. The aftermath left a permanent scar on the Whitfields. Cole, the father, later admitted something that is genuinely haunting. He said, "He built a profile of our family from things we had posted ourselves. Our address, our schedules, the fact that we used a babysitter on Sunday nights. We handed him the information he needed. They essentially drew a predator a map straight to their own front door without even realizing it." Brooke Callahan's pure gut instincts completely saved 3 lives that night. But the digital breadcrumbs that brought a predator to their porch in the first place, those were left by the victims themselves. So the question we really want to leave you with is this: what exactly are you giving away online right now without even thinking about it? Seriously, take a good look at your digital footprint today. If you found this explainer eye-opening, please be sure to like and subscribe so we can keep bringing you more deep dives. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one. Picture this. It's a dark, humid southern night. Literally the kind of night where you feel perfectly safe, right until the exact moment you don't. We're diving into an explainer today that proves the scariest monsters aren't always hiding out in the woods. Sometimes, they're the people we wave to every single day. As 16-year-old Kayla Simmons put it so perfectly, it wasn't some stranger. It was somebody the whole neighborhood thought they knew. That terrifying realization right there, that's what we're unpacking today. We're looking at hidden predators, the ones who just blend perfectly into the background of our everyday lives. Part 1. The Illusion of Safety. Magnolia Creek Road. So, we're going back to June 2013, to Magnolia Creek Road, just outside Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It was, well, idyllic.
Think modest, well-kept homes, wide front porches, big old oak trees dripping with Spanish moss. It was the kind of place where neighbors trusted each other completely, you know? Leaving porch lights on, waving across fences, just a really secure, tight-knit community. And that deep familiarity is exactly why 16-year-old Kayla felt perfectly safe walking just 4 houses down to babysit.
Part 2. A Normal Evening. June 7th, 2013. The night started off exactly like any other typical Friday for the Delacroix family. Marcus and Yvette were heading downtown for a retirement party, leaving their 4-year-old Noah in Kayla's highly capable hands. And the routine was flawless. Macaroni and cheese with hot dogs for dinner, an elaborate, totally improvised story about toy trains, a bath that got delayed because obviously the rubber ducks had to be arranged perfectly. By 8:10 p.m., Noah is fast asleep with his stuffed beagle, Biscuit, tucked right on his left side. Just mundane, innocent details, right? Keep those in your head because they are about to collide with absolute horror. Part 3. The Backdoor Visitor. A break in the silence.
Okay, so Noah's asleep, and the house settles into that heavy, quiet nighttime stillness. Kayla is just chilling on the living room couch, watching TV. Then, 9 p.m., she hears it. A soft, irregular scraping sound coming from the back porch. She mutes the TV. Silence. She kind of shrugs it off as a raccoon or something. But then, at 9:03 p.m., the sound changes entirely. It's footsteps now. Deliberate, rhythmic footsteps. She clicks the TV off completely. Her heart is absolutely pounding. And at 9:14 p.m., the back door handle sharply rattles. Then, 3 slow, measured knocks. Not frantic, comfortable. It sounded like whoever was out there felt like they completely belonged there.
Through the frosted glass of the door, Kayla can just make out a silhouette, and then a voice calls out. "Hey there, sorry to bother you, sweetheart. It's just me, Raymond. I live next door." Raymond Teal, the 54-year-old guy who literally lived right next door. The quiet, seemingly normal neighbor who'd casually chat with Noah's dad over the fence. He tells her he saw some lights on and just wanted to make sure everything was all right, and he casually asks to come inside to check the house. Now, what's happening here is a classic use of what we call pretext. Raymond is totally using his status as this trusted, familiar face to bypass her natural defenses. He even tells her that Noah's parents trusted him to keep an eye on things. Think about how twisted that is. He's weaponizing the very fabric of their neighborhood trust just to get her to unlock that back door. But thank goodness Kayla's instincts completely kicked in. She politely refuses, throws the deadbolt, and watches his shadow walk away into the dark. She immediately picks up the phone and calls Noah's dad, Marcus, and his response? It completely shatters any lingering illusion of safety. He says, "We did not ask Raymond to check on anything tonight. We have never given him permission to come onto our property." Just like that, the relaxed vibe of the evening is entirely gone. Marcus tells her to lock literally every door and window in the house while he dials 911 and races home. Part 4. The 911 call. The threat escalates. Kayla throws the house into full lockdown. But guys, this night is far from over. 9:31 p.m. The back porch light flicks on. He's back. Kayla gets 911 on the line. She can actually hear him pacing back and forth on the wooden boards right outside. 9:35 p.m. She hears this faint, metallic scraping sound of something being worked into the lock. He's not just knocking anymore, he is actively picking the lock. Kayla sprints upstairs, grabs little Noah out of bed, locks them both inside the master bedroom, and literally hides on the floor in the pitch black. She's whispering to the 911 dispatcher while that lockpick just keeps scraping away downstairs. Finally, at 9:38 p.m., the Baton Rouge police arrive. And they do this perfectly. They roll up completely silent, no sirens, headlights off. They creep into the backyard and find Raymond Teal standing right at the back door, a lockpick set still in his hands. He was literally seconds away from breaching that main lock. And when they arrest him, he doesn't even put up a fight. He is completely calm. His expression is totally flat, like zero surprise, zero guilt, just chillingly blank. Part 5. The disturbing evidence. Inside Raymond's home. The next morning, investigators serve a search warrant on Raymond's house next door. And this is where the story shifts from a really terrifying incident into something just deeply, deeply sinister. In his spare bedroom, they uncover an absolute nightmare. They find a handwritten notebook meticulously tracking the Delacroix family's daily schedules. Like exactly when they left, exactly when they came back. He had highly detailed notes on Kayla, her age, her specific babysitting shifts. They found an active police scanner, which totally explains why he was so chill when the cops showed up. He'd been listening to their dispatch calls the whole time. And honestly, the worst part? Stashed in a closet, they found a camera with a massive telephoto lens and hundreds of photos taken right from his upstairs window, looking directly down into their backyard. And yeah, a lot of them were of Kayla. This wasn't some random crime of opportunity. This guy had been on a methodical 6-week hunt.
So, what does this all mean for us? It completely shatters how we usually think about danger. We are so culturally conditioned to fear stranger danger, right? The random, unknown bad guy rolling in from out of town. But the actual threat here? It was the trusted next-door neighbor. He used his proximity, he used the absolute camouflage of normalcy to study his victims from literally just a few feet away.
Part 6. Surviving the Aftermath. Justice and Trauma. 11. That's the number of years Raymond Teal was sentenced to spend in the Louisiana State Penitentiary. The defense tried to argue that he was just mentally unwell, but the jury saw right through it. The lockpicks, that terrifying notebook, the telephoto lens, it all proved this was deliberate, incredibly calculated predatory behavior. In March 2014, he was convicted on all counts and put on the sex offender registry.
One of the arresting officers, Corporal James Fontenot, actually summed up this terrifying reality perfectly. He said, "He seemed like a normal guy. That's exactly how he wanted to seem. That's exactly how he got away with it." It's just a stark, sobering reminder of how easily predators can wrap themselves in the absolute ordinary. Now, the physical threat was stopped that night, thank goodness, but the psychological aftermath? That lingers. The Delacroix family ended up selling their home and moving away just 3 months later. Thankfully, little Noah has absolutely no memory of what happened. But for Kayla, the damage of that betrayed trust runs incredibly deep. The street she grew up on, the place that was supposed to be a completely safe, familiar sanctuary, it was just shattered. Which leaves us with this final, pretty chilling question to ponder. Who really lives next door to you? We build our fences and we lock our doors against the outside world, but sometimes the threat has already been invited inside the neighborhood. It's a shocking twist on everything we thought we knew about safety. If you found this explainer as chilling and eye-opening as I did, and you want to keep unraveling the truth behind these stories with us, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious. 17-year-old Madison is standing completely frozen in the dead silence of the kitchen. It's October 14th, 2008. The older cordless phone on the wall is ringing, its chime just piercing the quiet of the house. She doesn't want to answer it. Her heart is hammering against her ribs, her palms are sweating, and she knows, with a sickening certainty, exactly who is waiting on the other end of the line. Her hand is trembling. She finally lifts the receiver. The voice on the line doesn't shout, it doesn't rush. It's completely flat, methodical. "You left the back window open," the man says softly. And in that exact second, the world just seems to tilt. A cold, sharp draft of October air blows directly across the back of Madison's neck, coming from the window just inches above the kitchen sink. Part 1. An Ordinary Tuesday, October 14th, 2008, Naperville, Illinois. So how did Madison find herself in this nightmare? Let's go back to 6 p.m. Clover Ridge Drive is this quiet, picture-perfect suburb. Meticulously trimmed lawns, neighbors waving from their driveways. It's the exact kind of place where nothing bad is ever supposed to happen. Madison's an honor roll student, one of the most trusted babysitters on the street. She arrives to watch 7-year-old Lily and 5-year-old Caleb so their parents, Daniel and Susan, can head downtown for their 10th wedding anniversary. Daniel and Susan hug the kids, point out the emergency numbers on the kitchen whiteboard, and pull out of the driveway. The evening ticks by in this comfortable rhythm. Madison reheats some baked ziti, listens to Caleb talk about dinosaurs, cleans up. By 7:15, the three of them are curled up on the living room couch, completely absorbed in an animated movie. It's warm, safe, perfectly normal. But then, the timeline fractures. At exactly 7:42 p.m., the house phone rings. It's an older landline sitting in a charging cradle right on the kitchen counter. Madison pauses the movie, tells the kids she'll be right back, and walks into the kitchen. She picks it up on the third ring. "Hello, Hargrove residence," she says cheerfully, just out of habit. She's expecting a relative, maybe one of Daniel's coworkers. But there's just a pause, a brief, heavy silence on the other end of the line, just long enough to feel a little off. Then, a man's voice comes through, low, calm, almost too calm. "Is this the babysitter?" he asks. Madison feels a tiny flicker of unease, but she answers politely. Another long pause stretches across the line. Then he asks, "Are the kids in bed yet?" Madison tightens her grip on the phone. She asks who's calling, and the line just goes dead. She brushes it off. Just a wrong number, she tells herself. By 8:30, she's walked the children upstairs, tucked Caleb in with his stuffed elephant, and left the hallway light on for Lily. She heads back down to the empty kitchen, makes a cup of hot cocoa, and opens her history notebook. The house is completely silent, except for the distant hum of the refrigerator. Then, at 8:51 p.m., the phone shatters the quiet for a second time.
She picks it up, same voice, flat, unhurried. "You should check on the children," he says softly. Madison's blood absolutely turns to ice. "Who is this?" she demands, her composure completely breaking. "How do you have this number?" The man on the other end doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't laugh. He just says, "Check on the children, Madison." He knows her name. She slams the phone down. Her heart is hammering in her throat. She sprints up the stairs. Checks Caleb, sound asleep. Checks Lily, sleeping peacefully. Madison frantically dials Susan's cell phone, then Daniel's. Both go straight to voicemail. Moving on pure adrenaline, she sweeps the ground floor. She locks the back door, double-checks the front door. She locks every ground floor window she can see. Then she sits at the kitchen table, staring at the front door, and she waits. At 9:17 p.m., the phone rings for the third time. Madison's hand hovers over the receiver for 2 full, agonizing rings. On the third, she picks it up. There's a terrifying silence, and then the voice delivers the line, "You left the back window open." Madison turns slowly, dread just washing over her, toward the window above the kitchen sink, the one she hadn't checked, the one she assumed was closed. It's open just a few inches, letting that cold night air seep into the house. She doesn't hesitate. She runs. She tears up the stairs, grabs Caleb and Lily from their beds, and barricades them all inside the upstairs hallway bathroom. It's the only room with a door that locks from the inside. Crouched on the cold tile floor with the children in her lap, she dials 911, whispering her address to the dispatcher. Beside her in the dark, 7-year-old Lily grips her arm with surprising strength and whispers, "Is someone in the house?"
Part 2. The Investigation. Naperville Police Department. For 11 agonizing minutes, Madison waits in the dark, just straining to hear footsteps on the stairs. Finally, sirens pierce the night. At 9:29 p.m., 2 squad cars arrive. Officers breach the house, flashlights cutting through the dark rooms, and they clear the entire property in under 4 minutes. There's no intruder inside. But outside in the dark, the police find something far worse. In the soft dirt of the garden bed, directly beneath that open kitchen window, they find fresh, size 12 footprints. The grass nearby is pressed flat. A heavy man had been crouching there in the dark for a very long time. And on the wooden sill of the window, the very window Madison was standing in front of when the phone rang, there are fresh scratch marks where someone had been quietly, patiently prying at the wood.
The investigation immediately hits a brick wall. Detectives trace the landline records, and they find all 3 calls came from a prepaid burner phone, bought with cash at a local Walgreens 3 weeks prior. The security footage, it only shows a man hiding his face beneath a low-pulled baseball cap. A neighbor reports seeing a suspicious dark sedan idling on the street days before the incident, but they didn't get the license plate. The stalker is a ghost.
But the detectives are left staring at one deeply disturbing question that just defies all logic. This stalker didn't just target a random house. He knew exactly who was inside. He knew the babysitter's exact first name. In a time before rampant smartphone location tracking, how did a predator in the dark know who was watching the Hargrove children on that specific night?
The answer they uncover bridges the terrifying gap between innocent community trust and calculated predatory stalking. We have to look at the digital footprint. Detectives discover how a completely harmless action was weaponized by someone watching from the shadows, turning a 17-year-old girl into a target. 3 weeks before that terrifying Tuesday night, Madison's mother posted on a public neighborhood Facebook group. The post read, "My daughter Madison is a fantastic babysitter. She's been sitting for families in our neighborhood for 3 years. She sits for the Hargroves." Included in that public post was a smiling school photo of Madison, her first name, and the specific family she worked for. Anyone online could read it. Anyone could screenshot it. Sergeant Dale Hutchinson realized the horrifying reality of the crime. The burner phone was bought right around the exact time that post went live. This stalker wasn't impulsive. He didn't just happen to walk by and see an open window.
He gathered information. He watched the house. He waited patiently for the parents to leave for their anniversary. He chose that night specifically. He chose them.
Part 3. The chilling aftermath. Officially unsolved.
The terrified Hargrove family installed security cameras and moved away entirely by the spring of 2009. The man in the dark sedan vanished into the night, never identified. The case remains officially unsolved to this day, and Madison Kerr never babysat again. Today, Madison is an adult with a degree in criminal psychology, but the trauma of that October night has never truly left her. Every single night, before she goes to sleep, she checks every single window in her house. If this story sent a chill down your spine, please like and subscribe today for more terrifying true stories. Sleep well, and make sure you check your windows.